Hey guys, today's going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm still doing my Wednesday video, but I just figured I'd fill you in on this. I'm here visiting my family in New Hampshire, back at the house where I grew up. So, figured you guys would just want to see a little bit of my past and see how I was brought up. So, no takes, we're just going to go for it. I moved into this house probably when I was about 4. I lived in Washington State for a little while, and then we moved back here to this property my dad had purchased about a year before I was born. And we moved in when I was 4, and I lived here all the way up until I got married and moved out. So, it's nothing special. It's definitely not the greatest place, but it's what I called home, and that's where I grew up, so I just figured you guys might want to see this since I'm here and enjoying my vacation back with the family. When we moved in, it was absolutely nothing, just a straight plot of land. First thing we did was my dad put in this stone wall up the driveway, and that was the start of the homestead, I guess. And after that, it turned into this. Just a big old bunch of outbuildings, and that's where I grew up. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and give you guys just a quick little walkthrough about what's going on. So that's the main house, that's where I grew up, but that wasn't the first thing that was here. We built this after we moved in. This was what soon became the home, but what was the first home was this building here. Now it looks pretty different compared to what it was when I first moved in. I'll see if I can find a photo of what it used to be. But that smaller building on the bottom there, that was the first building here. And it just had one little peak roof right here. And we all lived in that. Me, my 2 brothers, my sister, my mom, and my dad. Me and my brother did stay in this trailer, and sometimes in this building. That was actually the first thing to go in. That was just a storage shed while my dad owned the property. And we all lived in these 3 outbuildings until he had a chance to build the main house. Once that was done, we all moved in. And that was pretty much it for a while. Nothing really changed. We lived there for quite a few years, and shortly before I moved out, my dad put up this building. It's a post and beam, all rough sawn lumber from the trees on our property, and this soon became the woodshed. So he's got his Empire outdoor furnace for hot water, pumps hot water into this building to heat the floor through radiant and provide the hot water for everything else. And like I said, this building was hand built by my dad, post and beam style, just to be a woodshed. He stores all his wood, he stores all his stuff, he stores the furnace, there's storage all the way up here, and he also puts his skid steer in this building as well when it's not off at a job site. So this building went up shortly after I moved, or no, shortly before I moved out. It was finished before I left, but that was 6 years ago. It's got these big double barn doors on both back sides. So it's a fully open building with just sliding doors. And like I said, that's just the woodshed. After that, he got the itch to build more with all his rough sawn lumber around the house. So you can see here's a pile of lumber he has sawn up from trees on the property. The whole property is all woods, and it's a big 10-acre lot. And after that, he decided he wanted to build the guest suite. So that building went up probably within the last year. Chopped the roof off the existing original building, which is now the sauna. And he built this big addition on top. All post and beam style rough sawn lumber to build the guest suite. The plan was to have this suite done before me and the wife came to visit this summer, but that didn't happen. So unfortunately it's not done, but he tried. So it's a pretty massive room. It's gonna have a pretty decent guest suite going on. We got a little kitchenette going in this corner. You got the wood stove. And you got the small little jacuzzi tub and just a toilet bathroom. Nothing seriously big. Whoa. But it's gonna be nice, and hopefully next time I come to visit, this place will be finished. And I'll have somewhere to actually crash that isn't somebody else's room. So, looking forward to seeing it done. I was gonna work on it a little bit, but there's not really much I can do until my brother-in-law finishes the drywall. And I don't know if that'll work because he's got a full-time job, so. Another big addition that happened after I left was the sauna used to have a stone stove inside, and my dad ended up chopping a hole through the wall and putting in this outdoor stove so that you can store all the wood under this side of the building. Store all the wood there, stoke the fire outside. But this was the original building we lived in. This ended up being the kitchen. Yeah, it's a pretty small room. And then this wasn't here. This was a ladder to a loft that was the same footprint as this building, minus the roofs. Because it had a pitched roof, so it was a vaulted ceiling, pretty much, and there was a loft up there. And then, at the time we moved in, this wasn't the sauna. This was just another room. I don't know what went on here. I think the kitchen table was over here, and there's some storage and stuff. I think there was a desk in the corner. But my dad ended up putting in this new stove, heated from the outside. And then he's got, can't see it back there, but there's a hot water here for the shower. It's got its own well. This whole building's just a standalone system other than the power. You got the built-in shower. Then you got a built-in steam waterer. So, just to see, it's 80 degrees in here. He had it lit 2 days ago at 190. And it's still 80. Last night when I was in here it was 93. So, works pretty good. A lot of heat retention. And then this was here in the original building. It was just a toilet. It's being rearranged and stuff as they're adding all the new plumbing in for upstairs. So he's got it a little messed up, and there's the original well for this building. And obviously it's got its own little circuit breaker, so not too much going on in that building, but this is where we originally moved in. Shortly after that, my dad built this building. once this was done, we all moved into here. And we lived there for pretty much a greater part of, I don't know, 12 years. So, I won't give you a tour of the inside of the house. There's nothing special going on there. I'm just going to do the property. And then after I left, my mom had a genius idea to get her some chickens. So, my dad built this little chicken coop. Right now it's got like 6 chickens in it. But shortly after that was built, one of my mom's friends got rid of some more chickens. So, she ended up moving the chickens into this building, which is now the new chicken coop. And as you can see, she's got a lot more than the original dozen she got. So, hey, chickie. So she's got eggs coming out her ears, dozens of eggs a day. Doesn't know what to do with them all. But this is it. This is the homestead. This is where I grew up. And it's pretty much the same as when I grew up. Not much has changed other than the new buildings, but this is what I called home. And I liked it here. It was a good way to grow up. And it, probably has a lot to do with how I live my life today. Just reminiscing of my upbringing. But there is one thing I do want to show you guys. When I was probably in my early teens, 13, 14, I started a project out in the woods here. There used to be a nice clear path, and now it's kind of been overgrown. I haven't been running this path as a kid for 10 years or so. But when I was in my early teens, I wanted to build my own little place on the property. So this little building went up, and this is as far as it got because I ran out of money as a kid. But I built it all myself. Built my own window, a piece of glass I found. I built my own door. Shingled the roof. Never got around to siding. Got it insulated, and that was it. But it was just a little building with a loft. And the plan was I was going to live out here. This is where I was going to stay and live and enjoy myself as my own little outpost on the homestead. I was going to run power out to the sauna building and the guest apartment building. And it was going to be my own little place. So that was one of the first major projects I undertook, and I never even got to finish it. Because, like I said, as a kid I ran out of money. And it is what it is. Now it's just a building in the woods at my dad's house. And it'll probably stay there until it falls apart. So and there's one more semi-building on the property I want to show you. So, as you know, we're in New England. We got tons of maple trees. I mean, I don't even know how many we got on this 10-acre property, but there's a bunch. So, every year, come springtime, when the sap starts flowing, my dad makes his own maple syrup. Enough to sell some away and have enough for him and the family for the rest of the year. So right now, this is his boiling station. He's got a stove, he's got his boiling pans, he's got his sap cooler. I don't know where he keeps all the lines and all the taps and stuff. They're not out right now. He just retaps every year. But right now he's boiling sap in that little that little underhang of the house. But he has a grand scheme. He has a grand plan. Here's all his forms and stuff. He does concrete, so got all his equipment just stored out in the back. Screeds and tampers and all kinds of stuff. But he's got this grand plan one day to take all this lumber here. It's another stack of rough sawn lumber from the property. It's got some brick, some resalvaged brick and some salvaged cinder block, and he's gonna take all that, and on this concrete pad he poured I don't know how long ago, he's gonna build his sugar shack. So this is gonna be a combination sugar shack. I think this is gonna be the door here where you can see the hip in the concrete. And he's gonna build himself his own sugar shack. That over there, that little building in the tree line, is an old sugar shack from way before we even lived here. But he's got this big pad back here, and this is gonna be just like a storage, like pull-in storage for the snowmobiles. We got a big opening doorway, and he's got these big long beams. Those are going to be the beams for the building, and he's going to build a sugar shack back here just like the rest of the buildings on the property. Rough sawn lumber, live bark edge. It's going to be a pretty cool building when it's done. And a helicopter. Probably screwing up my shot. Oh well. So we're running close to 20 minutes here, so I'm just gonna wrap this video up. I know it's probably not what you used to, and if you didn't want to watch it, that's fine, but if you did stick around to this point, I really appreciate it, and it just gives you a little insight into me as a kid, my upbringing, and where I grew up and where I called home. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me through it. And I hope you found it interesting. You know, it's kind of nostalgic for me. It's where I grew up, but for you it doesn't really mean anything. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the next project on Wednesday. This was just a little vlog video I wanted to add while I'm here visiting, and there should be a project video of me doing something here with my dad for one of the many projects he has floating around. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'll be able to get it out, but hopefully within the next couple weeks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.